sure you must have been seeing her face for the past few months.
I don't know if some of you are partial Nigerians or 25% Nigerian, but I'm a full-fledged Nigerian and I'm proud of it. You have to invest time to evaluate. Don't take random decisions.
I was never going to sleep with a man to get a job, and 2, I was never going to pay a bribe.
No matter what anybody thinks about you, you know what is most important? Who you know that you are. In your entire business life, never ever touch the sand of your money that you are gathering until you have molded your block.
Now, who is she really, and where did she actually come from?
My name is Ibukun Awosika. I run a group of furniture manufacturing companies. I started my first business before my 26th birthday, and I've built a manufacturing group in the last 28 and a half years.
You see, she first came into limelight in 2008 after she appeared on Africa's first version of Dragon's Den, a reality TV show when entrepreneurs pitch business ideas to investors.
75-25. 75-25.
Yeah.
That's fine by you.
Yeah.
She was one of Nigeria's first 5 entrepreneurs to be featured, and she participated. She exposed her entrepreneurial skill in that particular contest. And in fact, this was what boosted her popularity, especially among millennials in that period. You see, Mrs. Ibukun Awosika started her furniture manufacturing company at a very early age, especially in her early 20s.
I started my first business just before my 26th birthday, and it's 27 years now since I've been building my business group.
Especially around a period where the business environment was very harsh on women, and it was very hard to feel or see a woman-owned business in Nigeria that is thriving at that particular rate. But she built the business with integrity, innovation, and resilience. The company later became very successful and one of the largest office furniture manufacturers in Nigeria. But what you don't know is that Miss Ibukun Awosika became an household name in 2015 when she became the first female board chairman of FirstBank Group in Nigeria.
FirstBank of Nigeria Limited started in 1894. Ibukun Awosika was appointed the chairman of FirstBank in January 2016, becoming the first female, the first woman to hold this position ever.
You see, what happened was that in 2013, she moved from insurance into investment banking within the FirstBank Nigerian Group. And after she became the chairman of the FirstBank Capital, she was able to lead a massive merger deal for the bank. And that deal led to a massive growth at the bank. And by the time she was appointed the board chairman of FirstBank Group in 2015, she had already proved her excellent and resilient spirit and a massive leadership role and work ethics. From the very beginning of her entrepreneurial journey, she decided to do business differently by building a company based on integrity, accountability, and long-term value. When she started her company in her 20s, she didn't have any powerful figure backing her. She had no access to bank loans or connection to any political elite. She built this company brick by brick after being born by a Nigerian father and a Cameroonian mother. And it was after her university degree she served at Akintola Williams & Co., which is now owned by Deloitte. And it was there she discovered that she excelled in auditing. She later refused to work 9 to 5 and left Akintola Williams & Co. to work briefly as a manager of a Lebanese-owned furniture showroom, which she later rediscovered her passion for designing, and within months she resigned and founded her own furniture company, which is now called the Chair Center. In fact, at one point when she was actively involved in the furniture business and the company was just growing, she secured a contract to deliver large batch of chairs to a particular company, a deal that was massive to her at that particular time. But when the chairs was delivered, many of them broke down or malfunctions shortly after use. And when she was informed about the defect, she took full responsibility. She replaced every single chair at her own company cost, even though the defect was caused by material supplied by an external vendor. She actually became very popular after she was appointed the chairman of FirstBank Group, and she sat at the center of a secret power struggle.
We begin with Nigeria's apex bank, the CBN,
as he sacks directors of FirstBank Holding PLC.
The management of the Central Bank of Nigeria, in line with its powers conferred on it by the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, has approved immediate removal for the directors of FirstBank of Nigeria Limited and FirstBank of Nigeria Holdings PLC.
In 2021, there was a major power struggle at FirstBank. On one side was Oba Otudeko and Ibukun Awosika, who are long-time allies. And Oba Otudeko was the chairman of FirstBank Holding, the parent company to FirstBank itself, while Ibukun Awosika was the chairman of the board of FirstBank of Nigeria Limited, the subsidiary company. On the opposing side was a billionaire, Mike Adenuga, who had quietly bought significant shares of FirstBank Holding, the parent company of FirstBank itself, with the backing of the managing director of FirstBank, Mr. Adeshola Adedutan. And at that time, there was a push to remove Mr. Adeshola Adedutan as the managing director of FirstBank. And the reason was because Oba Otudeko, who was the then chairman of the parent company, perceived that the managing director, Mr. Adeshola, wasn't acting independently again, but he suspected that he was rather advancing the hidden interest of the billionaire Mike Adenuga, especially after Mr. Mike Adenuga, the billionaire, bought large amount of shares of FirstBank Nigerian Holding, but mostly because he refused to resign as managing director of FirstBank. And they discovered that Mr. Adeshola had a very strict effort in recovering unpaid loan, especially the one owned by Mr. Otudeko, who is the chairman of the parent company, and his close following of the central bank rule in order to favor billionaire Mike Adenuga to gain control in that particular bank, which will eventually remove Otudeko as the chairman of FirstBank Holding itself. Eventually, FirstBank board, headed by Ibukun Awosika, led to remove the managing director of FirstBank itself, Mr. Adeshola Adedutan. There were allegations that Otudeko and Ms. Awosika forced him out in order to protect their own interest in the bank. And when the CBN governor, Emefiele, a close ally to the managing director of FirstBank, Mr. Adeshola Adedutan, discovered that they had removed him as managing director of FirstBank without his knowledge, he wasted no time and sacked every director at FirstBank and its parent company. And when he addressed the press on April 29, 2021, he claimed that since 2016, FirstBank has been surviving only because the central bank was helping it stay afloat, despite serious problems like bad loans, poor decisions, and weak leadership. And so when the board secretly fired the CEO without getting permission, the central bank saw it as a serious threat to the bank's stability, and he claimed that it was acting in accordance with the law. And immediately the central bank governor of Nigeria removed all the board directors of FirstBank, including Awosika as well as Otudeko. Mr. Adeshola, his close ally, was reinstated and placed in charge of the FirstBank Holding, the parent company, as well as FirstBank PLC, the subsidiary company. And immediately, the central bank governor removed all directors of FirstBank board, as well as the chairman of FirstBank Holding itself, including Awosika and Otudeko. Ms. Ibukun Awosika stepped down and submitted a resignation letter as the chairman of board of directors of FirstBank itself. The reason she gave was that she didn't leave on her own, but was removed along with the rest of the board by the central bank governor. She said that they were trying to do what was best for the bank, and that many of the problems the central bank claimed existed in the bank, like bad loans and poor management, were already there before she became the chairman of the subsidiary company. But then the crisis left a very big blow on her reputation, and she left FirstBank on a cloud of controversy. After she stepped down as the chairman of the board of FirstBank, she was immediately appointed as an independent director of a US-based company in New York. And by September 2022, she was appointed Binance's newly formed Global and Advisory Board, advising the crypto exchange on regulation and policy issues, and also joined an international NGO board, International Foundation for Valuing Impact, a G7-backed non-profit for impacting accounting. And domestically in Nigeria, she continued to hold director position in several companies in Nigeria after she was sacked as the chairman of board of director of FirstBank itself, including companies like Cowbrick Nigeria, Delight Design Incorporation, Digital Draws Limited, as well as Gems Africa Limited. But despite her boardroom activities and director of several companies, her company, the Chair Center, was thriving heavily and was growing massively as well. She later founded the IBUKUN Awosika Leadership Academy, where she holds her annual International Women Leadership Conference. These conferences are among her entrepreneurial initiatives, an African-funded forum attracting international partners like Dubai Tourism Authority and building mentorship and funding for women-led businesses. And aside from her corporate activity, she's also an ordained pastor and a founder of Christian Missionary Fund, a non-profit organization to help missionaries scattered all over the country as well as the continent, hosting fundraising galas and other outreach programs to support hundreds of missionaries in Nigeria and in Africa. And the organization has provided for more than thousands of missionaries scattered all over the world. Now, what do you think about Miss Ibukun Awosika and her entrepreneurial journey and how she became very popular? Have you had a personal encounter with her? Make sure you type on the comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. Make sure you like this video if you enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that I can make more of this particular type of video. I will see you in the next one.